You know what nobody tells you when you're heating up leftovers in that plastic container? When you're drinking from that water bottle? When you're handling receipts at the grocery store? You're being exposed to chemicals that are literally reprogramming your hormones. And the scariest part, most people have no idea this is happening. I'm Dr. John Kim, and today we need to talk about something the mainstream medical system refuses to address: the endocrine disrupting chemicals that are quietly destroying your hormonal balance, causing weight gain you can't explain, fatigue that won't go away, mood swings, infertility, and a cascade of symptoms your doctor will say are just stress. And you need to watch this full video because the solution isn't another prescription. It's a protocol that addresses the root cause of your hormonal chaos. And it starts with understanding what's happening inside your body right now. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that no matter how clean you eat, no matter how much you exercise, your body just doesn't respond the way it used to? Maybe you've gained weight around your midsection that refuses to budge. Maybe your energy crashes every afternoon. Maybe your periods are irregular, painful, or completely absent. Maybe you've been told you have thyroid issues, PCOS, or unexplained infertility. And when you went to your doctor, they ran some labs, told you everything looks normal, and sent you home with a prescription for the pill, or antidepressants, or told you to just manage your stress better. But here's what they didn't tell you. Your hormones aren't failing because of bad genetics or bad luck. They're failing because you're being poisoned, slowly, systematically, by chemicals that mimic your natural hormones. These are called endocrine disruptors, and they are everywhere: in your food containers, your shampoo, your makeup, your furniture, your clothing, even the air you breathe. And the medical establishment, they'll tell you the exposure is too small to matter. But that's a lie, because these chemicals don't follow the traditional dose-response relationship, meaning even tiny amounts measured in parts per billion, can cause massive hormonal disruption, especially during critical windows of development, in utero, during puberty, and during hormonal transitions like pregnancy or menopause. So let's talk about what's really happening inside your body. Your endocrine system is this incredibly sophisticated network of glands: the thyroid, the adrenals, the ovaries or testes, the pituitary, the pancreas. They communicate through hormones, these chemical messengers that travel through your bloodstream and tell your cells what to do. When everything is working correctly, it's beautiful, it's balanced, it's precise. But endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs, they hijack the system. They do this in three main ways. First, they mimic your natural hormones, especially estrogen, so your cells receive signals they were never meant to receive. Second, they block your hormone receptors, so your real hormones can't get through, like jamming a lock with the wrong key. Third, they interfere with hormone production and metabolism, disrupting how your body makes hormones, breaks them down, and eliminates them. And the result is hormonal chaos. Let me give you the most common example: BPA, bisphenol A. You've probably heard of it. Maybe you've even bought BPA-free products. But here's what you need to understand. BPA is a xenoestrogen, a foreign estrogen. And when it enters your body, it binds to estrogen receptors and mimics the action of your natural estrogen. This creates a condition called estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance is responsible for weight gain, especially around the hips and thighs, breast tenderness, heavy periods, fibroids, endometriosis, PMS, anxiety, depression, brain fog, and increased risk of estrogen-dependent cancers. But it gets worse. Because when companies remove BPA from plastics, they replaced it with BPS and BPF, which are chemically almost identical and just as harmful. So that BPA-free label, it's marketing, not safety. Then you have phthalates, These are plasticizers that make plastic flexible. They're in everything: vinyl flooring, shower curtains, food packaging, fragrances, personal care products, and phthalates. They're anti-androgenic, meaning they block testosterone in men. This leads to low testosterone, low libido, erectile dysfunction, man boobs, muscle loss, fatigue, and depression. In women, it disrupts the delicate balance between estrogen and progesterone, leading to irregular cycles, infertility, PCOS, and early menopause. Studies have shown that phthalate exposure in pregnant women can cause feminization of male fetuses, reducing anogenital distance, a marker of testosterone exposure in the womb. This isn't conspiracy theory, this is peer-reviewed endocrinology. And then there's the thyroid connection. Your thyroid is the master regulator of your metabolism, your energy, your body temperature, your mood, and endocrine disruptor, particularly flame retardants like PBDS, and industrial chemicals like perchlorate. They block iodine uptake in the thyroid. Without iodine, your thyroid can't produce thyroid hormone. The result: hypothyroidism, weight gain, cold intolerance, hair loss, constipation, brain fog, depression. But when you go to your doctor, they'll check your TSH, and if it's in range, they'll tell you your thyroid is fine. Except they're not looking at free T3, reverse T3, thyroid antibodies, or the underlying cause of thyroid dysfunction, which is often endocrine disruption. By the way, if you're tired of being told your labs are normal when you know something is wrong, hit that subscribe button. We are building a community that demands real answers, and I want you to be part of it. Now, let's talk about what you can do about this. Because awareness without action is just anxiety. Step 1. You need to reduce your exposure. This means stop microwaving food in plastic ever. Switch to glass or stainless steel food containers. Stop drinking from plastic water bottles, especially if they've been sitting in a hot car. Avoid canned foods because most cans are lined with BPA. Read labels on personal care products. If you see fragrance or parfum, that's code for phthalates. Avoid it. Choose organic produce when possible, especially for the dirty dozen, because pesticides like atrazine are potent endocrine disruptors. Filter your water because tap water is contaminated with perchlorate, fluoride, and pharmaceutical residues. Use a HEPA air filter. That's because flame retardants off-gas from furniture and electronics. These are not extreme measures. These are basic protective strategies in a toxic world, but reducing exposure is only half the equation. Step 2. You need to support your body's detoxification pathways, because even with perfect avoidance, you're still exposed. These chemicals are ubiquitous, so your liver needs to be functioning optimally. This means cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, they contain compounds like sulforaphane and DIM that support phase 2 liver detoxification. This is the pathway that conjugates toxins, including excess estrogen and xenoestrogens, so they can be eliminated through bile and stool. You also need adequate fiber, at least 30 grams per day, because fiber binds to estrogen metabolites in the gut and carries them out. Without enough fiber, estrogen gets reabsorbed, creating a vicious cycle of estrogen dominance. You need to support your gut microbiome because certain bacteria, specifically beta-glucuronidase producing bacteria, can reactivate estrogen that was already detoxified. This is why gut health and hormone health are inseparable. Probiotics, prebiotics, fermented foods, these are non-negotiable. And you need specific nutrients, magnesium for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including hormone production, zinc for testosterone synthesis, selenium for thyroid hormone conversion, B vitamins for methylation and estrogen metabolism. These aren't supplements for optimization. These are requirements for basic hormonal function in a toxic environment. Step 3. You need to restore hormonal balance. And this is where functional medicine diverges completely from conventional medicine. Because conventional medicine will give you synthetic hormones, the pill, HRT, without ever addressing why your hormones were disrupted in the first place. It's like bailing water out of a sinking boat without plugging the hole. Functional medicine asks, what's the hole? And in this case, the hole is endocrine disruption, chronic inflammation, gut dysbiosis, nutrient deficiencies, and toxic burden. So we address those root causes, and often hormones rebalance naturally, but sometimes we need to use bioidentical hormones or adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha for cortisol regulation, or Vitex for progesterone support, or DIM for estrogen metabolism. But these are tools, not band-aids. They're used in the context of a comprehensive protocol that addresses the whole system. Now, I want you to understand something critical. This isn't about fear. This is about power, because once you understand the mechanisms, once you see how endocrine disruptors are sabotaging your hormones, you can take control. You can make informed choices. You can demand better from the companies that make the products you use. You can advocate for yourself in the doctor's office. You can break free from the cycle of symptoms and prescriptions that never actually fix anything. And here's the truth that nobody in mainstream medicine will tell you. Your body wants to heal. Your hormones want to be balanced, but they can't do it in a toxic environment with depleted nutrients and a broken gut. So when you remove the obstacles, when you support the systems, when you address the root cause, healing happens not overnight. This isn't a quick fix, but consistently, measurably, profoundly. I've seen it in my practice hundreds of times. Women who were told they'd never get pregnant, conceiving naturally after detox protocols and gut healing. Men who were on testosterone replacement, getting off it after addressing their toxic burden and nutrient status. People with incurable autoimmune thyroid disease going into remission after removing endocrine disruptors and healing their gut. This is possible, but it requires a different paradigm. It requires you to reject the lie that your symptoms are normal, that you just need to accept them, manage them with medication. It requires you to demand root cause solutions. And that's what we do here. If this resonates with you, don't guess with your health. Click the link below to book a discovery call with my team. We'll review your case, your symptoms, your labs, and create a personalized protocol that addresses your specific root causes. Or watch this video next where I break down 5 signs you have high cortisol. Because here's the truth. All of these endocrine disruptors we just talked about put your body into a constant state of chemical stress, which drives your cortisol through the roof and locks you in survival mode. This is Dr. John Kim, and I'll see you in the next one.